onto the stage. Well, hello, everybody. Hey, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. You are with us today on the channel because we are doing the Brightly Sampler Quilt. This is a quilt by Sherry and Chelsea, and it's in the Family Favorites book. And I've got links below to all of the pattern book, the fabric choices, the background fabrics, the whole 9 yards. And we have been doing a block a week now. This is week 18. So we are rocking and rolling through this. This week, the block we are doing is the Happy Dance block. Hello, everybody here in the chat. Great to see you guys. Love this, love this. You missed this morning, Lynn? You'll have to catch up. Okay, lots of good info in this morning's video. Not too much sewing. And my shirt says, not sewing with a full bobbin. And that was more true than I realized because I got 2 stitches into, where's it, what I was doing this morning? 2 stitches into the next on this block and ran out of bobbin. Story of my life. Here's Miss Frito again. She wants a little treat. She's just so trained, you guys, when I start talking to the camera. Yes, he's talking. She says, Mom's talking to the camera. I get a biscuit. That's it. All right. No more. All done. Go away. Bye-bye. Go on. Go on. Go see Daddy. Go do something. She'll get bored and leave. She's such a treat hound. Oh, my goodness. You got the talk about, and I inserted, how do I insert great cook or good cook? Sherry, go back and watch. Here's what she's talking about. She wants to make her towel look like mine. Go back and watch last Thursday's live. And it's Embroidery Thursday with that. And I show step by step how to make that happen. You're going to use Embrilliance Essentials for that. So go back and take a look at that. Okay. Appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, Frito's here. Okay, so for those of you who missed Frito this morning, no, don't come back over here. I'm just talking about you. I'm not calling you. So, all right, let's get to this. Y'all, they're going to start my pool this morning. They're fixing to begin to start my pool. In the South, how to say getting ready to in 3 different ways, right? Yeah, I was on my block this morning. And I started to sew this, okay? And I got that far into it and ran out of bobbin. Not sewing with the full bobbin was more true than I thought. First time watching live this morning. Hello, Donna. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you being here. You guys, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. And if you're watching on your TV, grab that channel remote and hit the channel up button. That gives me a thumbs up using that little remote. So you get teased about fixing to do all the time. No, you're not alone, Lynn. We live in South Texas. This is how we roll, right? So you sewed 4 blocks without a bobbin. Girl, there's nothing worse than ghost sewing. I hate that. Happens all the time. Okay, if you are just joining us and this is your first time rolling in here, welcome. I'm glad you are here. If it's your first time live in the chat, let us know. I have some people from a welcoming committee will make you feel nice and at home. And if you are watching on replay, thank you so much. Leave me a comment and tell me what block you're on. Are you keeping up with us or are you catching up? Keeping up or catching up, one or the other. You might be done. I don't know. So on my blog, powertoolswiththread.com, if you go into the search box and type Brightly Sampler, this will come up, the blog post all about this. And I am doing the layout from Shirley Scott. This is from our Facebook group. She gave me permission to share this and show you guys what I'm doing. And then I also created a sew along guide. So it has what day we're doing and where the block goes and all of that. Okay. There, all the preliminaries are done. Okay. So, oh, Lynn says she hasn't started yet. No, got to get moving. Chop, chop. So here is the layout of the block. Okay. I'm not liking it. So what happened was, sound like a kid. What happened was I had this all ready to go and I noticed I was missing a block and I was like, where's that where's that block? So I just grabbed one from another pattern. I harvested it from another. Now I got to put this back in that other one. So I'm going to put this here. I think I'm going to take this, and I think I'm just going to do that. And we'll just make that balance a little bit better. Yeah? That's a little better. Okay. I can see on camera, it looks a lot better like that. Alrighty. See, that wasn't hard. This is such a scrappy quilt. You get things mixed around, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Keeping up. Peggy C says she's keeping up. Kathy, I brag when I win at Bobbin Chicken on the long arm too. I put that on Facebook the other day. I was like, I did it. Little tiny thread coming off that purple bobbin out of my King Quilter 2 Elite. Okay, so we are doing Happy Dance. This is the one with a whole boatload of half square triangles. This is it here. Okay, so I'm just going to put this here on my little pattern stand. Get this put in here. Now, I do mine differently than the book says to do theirs. This is going to poke up. I don't like it. Hold on. I've got too many books over here. I'm playing with, I've got too many pattern books because I'm working on so many quilts at one time. And that's still sticking up. Let me go over to my other camera. Let you guys see what I'm doing here. Okie dokie. So because I have it all laid out on the board, it's ready to go. The first thing I need to do on this particular block is to go ahead and draw the lines on the back of the background fabrics, and they're white. So, okay. All righty. So I'm going to make sure that these, I'm doing it on the back because it's a white on white. And I have a black light flashlight, but it's not, it doesn't show up real well. The contrast is just not enough on this particular fabric. Okay. Yeah, they start the pool today. There is already an excavator in my backyard. That's very exciting. Real happy about that. We're getting a spool. That's a new thing. It's not a hot tub with a pool. It's a pool, the smaller pool. It's only going to be 10 by 15 in ground, and it has a spa built into it. So what I'm doing, I'm putting the ruler corner to corner, and then I'm drawing the line. So if the ruler's corner to corner, the line is not. The line is right next to corner to corner. So this triangle is smaller than this triangle that's under the ruler. So I'm going to draw a little line, a little mark on the smaller triangle. That's the one that's going to be cut off. Important, very important. Let me put all these upside down. Okay. So the way it works is it's going to have a little sun deck that I can put my chair on. Okay. And then that's the shallow part where I'm going to sit. It'll have a hole for an umbrella and everything, but I don't know about that. Anyway, because we're going to put a pergola over it. I'm scoping out that pergola at Costco right now. And anyway, and then on the wall with the bench seat, so the spool has a bench seat inside of it. And then all along that wall on the bench seat are jets. And you bury a, you can do above ground if you want. We're going to bury a propane tank, and you can heat it in the winter. And it'll have a chiller in the little waterfall. It has a rock waterfall on it. It has a chiller in it, and you can chill it in the summer, which you need a chiller if you're living in South Texas, because it'll get feeling like it's 90 degrees. That water will get up to 90. It'll feel like a lukewarm bath, which is not fun or comfortable. You really want your water around 85, 86 or so, in the low to mid 80s. So, Yeah, we're real excited about that. What happened was my hot tub died. I had a freestanding hot tub, 20 some years old. It finally died. The company had gone out of business, so they didn't make parts for it anymore. And I thought, so now if I wanted to buy the same grade, we bought that hot tub for $7,000 in 1999. No, 2002. Yeah, 2002. And then now if I want the same kind of hot tub, it's going to cost me 20 grand. And I'm like, that's crazy. We use it all the time. So instead of doing that, why don't we just put in one of those newfangled little spools? So we got rid of our 18 by 33 by 4 foot deep above ground swimming pool that was used when we were in the season of life of water volleyball. And now all of our friends are getting new shoulders and knees. Oh, man. So that season of life has passed. So we're just going to make good use of this. And while it may not increase the value of the home, it certainly adds to the sellability of the home compared to what's there right now. So lots of reasons. So there, now y'all are up to date on my spool while I got all that done. How cool was that? Okay. So now what I need to do is to, if you've got directional, oh, look at this. Look what I did. That happens. I'll make sure. Is it a lap pool? No, it's not a lap pool at all. I got a picture. I'll show you guys. I know you want to see what I'm doing in my backyard, right? This is what we do. Let's see there. Pull up my pictures. Let me show you what I'm doing here on my pool. Because you guys are like, I want to see. I don't know why. I've saved it to my pictures. I don't know how many times. I know I texted it to my quilty buddy, Lisa. And then I'll just find it in my text string chat with her. Because it seems to be easier to do it that way. Oh, y'all, she did Esther the Easter chicken. And okay, here we go. This is it. Come on. I shouldn't do that. That's rude. All right. So what I'm going to do, you've never heard of toes replacement, shoulders, knees, and toes. All right. If you have fabric, if you're using fabric that is directional, like I did on the companion quilt to this, I used Stacy East Shoes Farmstead, and I wanted to make sure the sheep and the pigs and the cows were all upright on the quilt. You definitely are going to want to make sure that you take your fabric, okay, and fold it first, especially on this block, okay? All right. And then just lay it out in the way it needs to go. Look at the pattern and lay it out in the way it needs to go so you can make sure that your fabric's going to come out upright in the right spot, because these don't all fold the same direction. All right. So like this one is going from left down to upper left down to bottom right. And then you've got other ones where, let's see. Yes. And then you have on the other side of the quilt, you've got them going this way. So just really look at that and make sure that you're getting it right, okay? That's one of the big tricks with this particular block. No, the PQ 1600 doesn't have any kind of tech in it other than needle up and needle down, and that's about it, right? Yeah, it's very low tech, but it's very good at what it does. It will not tell you it has a low bobbin. Nope. Your long arms don't either. They have bobbin estimators, but they don't tell you. It doesn't have a sensor, and that's because the bobbin, I think it's because the bobbin is straight up and down. You're sewing with a vertical bobbin, whereas in the flatbed machine, you have a horizontal bobbin. That matters. Yep. All righty. So You also want to make sure when you're making this block, all right, your white squares, you've got 4 solid white squares that are not, they don't have a companion fabric on that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, top left, bottom right. Look at that also if you have directional fabric, okay? That matters. So to make my life easy, I just like to go ahead and get that all set up right from the start so I don't have to worry about what it is. Now, I'm not going to iron them because I have a line with a iron away thing on it. You know, it'll iron away. I don't want my mark to go away. But this just makes it a lot easier for me. This makes it a lot easier for me to just sew these and not have to worry about sewing it the right direction. It just makes my life easier. Okay, like this. To get all this done first. Okay. I told Keith, I said, go outside when they get here and start digging. Go outside and take pictures and then text them to me. And I just love the little girl, young lady who's coming over. Whoops, see? She's the daughter of the owner of the pool company. Just a sweet girl. Drives a Jeep. Very nice. And this one goes this way. I know I could just turn these whichever way. I know. I don't have to do this step. I'm such a visual person that I just really prefer this because you can sew them and then just turn them whichever way. But this is the way I did it with the directional fabric. Okay. Just save yourself a lot of grief. Oh, you know what? Let me do this and I can cut all that off on that one. That'll work. Ha ha. Yay. Okay. And then this is going to go here and this is going to go here. Okay. Excellent. So now I have the little mark that's going to be cut off in the correct corner for each one. Okay. There we go. All right. Time to get to sewing. I love it. My logo's on this stream. I don't know why my logo wasn't on that other stream this morning. That's crazy, isn't it? I don't know. Weird. Okay. Oh, good. How nice, Ruth. Isn't that nice? She took it for show and tell at the Guild. Yeah, beautiful line. Did you do it in the, which line did you do it in? The Strawberry Lemonade or the Laguna Sunrise? Hi, Star. Thanks for joining us. All right, so I'm going to sew these a row at a time and then get them cut. I'm just going to do that because I don't want to have to resort them over and over and over. So I'm making sure that my white is exactly on top of the color. I don't have anything hanging out of either one on either side. Sewing on the line. Okay. This is going to be fun here. Yeah, so if you missed it this morning in the Stitchuation room, my husband and I listed our house at the coast for sale this weekend. We met with a realtor, very nice lady, really like her. And, okay, this is going to, hold on. This is directional. There we go. Right? Is that right? Number 3. No. This needs to go, hold on. Like this. Yes, it needs to go like that. Okay, I'm going to turn it like that. There. Anyway, So yesterday morning, I walked 1.5 miles back and forth in that little house. And Keith worked outside to get it ready for showings. And I worked yesterday to get it staged for pictures. Okay. This is how I'm going to do this. None of these other ones are directional. You have to take everything off all the counters. Unfortunately, I had gone through that house recently and decluttered a lot. So I was glad to have that done. It helped quite a bit. So, the bathrooms have to be spotless. And y'all, the closets, oh my gosh, they are stuffed full with everything. I told my husband, because he's going on a boys fishing weekend next week. I said, or while I'm in Indiana, he said, he goes, I told him, if you're missing something, look in the closet. The dog bowls are in this closet, and all of our kitchen stuff is packed away into every other closet you can imagine. Now, when the showings come, that's, people are going to look in closets. And so things need to kind of be back out, but for pictures. And we're leaving most of the furniture and the appliances and everything. So move-in ready almost. We're going to take a few of our personal things. Oh, you're doing the Christmas tree with us, Donna? Excellent. Is the golf house for sale by owner? No, the lady is a RE/MAX realtor. So we signed that. And, going to get this sewn so I can get that cut off. That's excellent. Then I don't have to worry about white selvage in my seam allowance. No, I don't want to deal with that. Okay, last row. You've been losing weight. Good for you, Linda. Good for you. I did bring home the Felicity quilt. I've got 1 month finished. It was a block of the month from Connecting Threads. I got 1 month finished, and month 2 is cut. And I think it was a 10-month block of the month. And you guys, I'm not going to finish that quilt. I know it. So I will probably be putting it on our store site for sale, and somebody else can finish it at a bargain basement price. The thing weighs a ton, so. But that'll be good. I'll let one of you guys finish it. Beautiful quilt, blue and yellow. Okay. Alrighty, so now I'm going to spend some time. That Wegovy works. Oh, good. Gets food off your brain. Good for you. All right, Amy got an e-bike. Yay! I love mine. They're awesome. They were. They had the CCA banquet, which is Coastal Conservation Association. They had their big banquet down there this weekend, and the grand prize on the raffle was 2 electric bikes. Love it. Now, when the reason I'm doing this in the order I'm doing it in is on purpose, okay? There's a very purposeful reason for this. Now that these are sewn on, and I've still got the mark on it, so I know which side is going to be cut off, I'm going to take that larger half of the triangle, and because I put the smaller side, it fits so that I can cut that piece off, and it fits, and you want to put it exactly. Maintain the integrity of the base shape. You can't see any white hanging over the tip, and you don't see any green hanging over the white, okay? So finger press those. Exact, so it's exact. And this is going to make sure that your 1/4 inch seam is perfect. Well, for the most part, it's up to you, really. But having that little mark on there tells me, because if I was to do and take the short side and pull it up, see how it doesn't fit? I have to tug it. I've got to tug that, and you don't want to have to tug that. So this extra space that's in here in the garment sewing world is called turn of cloth. And that gives you the turn of cloth you need so you're not tugging and making your blocks wonky. There is a method behind the madness here, and the steps I'm doing are purposeful. If you don't have that mark, it's really hard to tell because the turn of cloth is only a couple of threads. Okay. And then once you get this folded up, then I'm going to cut them all at one time too. So I'm doing the same motion over and over. All right. So it's not iron and then scissors. It's iron, 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 scissor, scissor, scissor. That's how I'm doing that. Again, purposeful, efficient. Yeah, Linda, stay on that. It's good. I'm telling you, I love sewing because it keeps my hands busy. And if I'm doing sewing, then I'm not munching, because I have been on that weight as well, that weight loss issue. It's a thing. Tic Tacs help me immensely. They're 0 calories, and I put them in my mouth, and they just give me something, you know, you get that, and a little bit of sweet thing. It's good. I've gone through cases of them. I buy them on Amazon. They come in a dozen boxes, at a time. Okay. On my cart, did I mount the top tray upside down? No, I did not, Kim. There's a gap under there. And I'm glad I did that because I've got these things that are tucked. I have room. See? There's a rotary mat under there. Yeah. Handy dandy. Yep. Yeah. Any kind of sugar-free little mint, those are great. They satisfy that need for something sweet, which, that's like a real thing. Yeah. I'm more of a savory eater, but well, bye, Peggy. Thanks for stopping in. She's got to run. I got a video chat call later on with the lady who's my tech writer for Snapplique. Oh, I know they're all turned wrong, sweetie. I'll put them right when I lay out, because I'm going to pick them up again. I'm going to pick them up again to cut them. So where they're at right now, it doesn't really matter. Right now, all that matters is the color is in the right place. So I don't have to think about that over and over. I'll get them right. Okay. Yeah, the card is so handy. Oh my goodness. If you're a piecer, like most of us are, it is just so handy. If you're a quilt piecer, have a little card, get your little ironing station set up, and you are rocking and rolling. This particular block will give you fits when it comes time to matching those points. So I'll go slow on how I do mine. But you can see every single one of these blocks, because I made that mark, I have the room to fold it over, and every single one of them has perfect points on the corners that are half white and half color. You definitely need that, okay? Definitely need that. Okay. Y'all, just because something's sugar-free doesn't mean it's calorie-free. Totally different. All right, so now I'm going to cut, and now I'm really going to pay attention to the placement of the block when I put it down. Okay. Okay. So this one is colored this way. This is something they taught me in the military is repetitive movement gives you repetitive actions give you the most efficiency. That's why assembly lines work as well as they do in the manufacturing process. Same thing over and over and over. You get very efficient at it and it goes by much quicker. Okay, this goes here. I was just making sure that the colors were in the right spots. I hate resetting those all the time. Okay, this one goes here. I could have done another row of stitching and made other little half square triangles. I did that for a little bit and decided that's too much like work. I don't have anything to do with those and I don't have the bandwidth to manage them, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, and this one goes up here. Okay, and this one goes, I'm looking at which way the color goes. Color goes down here. So the insurance on our house down there, y'all, is only $200 a year. It's only good for fire and theft. We are covered down there. You can't, it's a single wide mobile home, and you can't insure a mobile home within 40 miles of the coast for full insurance, flood insurance, or any of that. Although ours made it through Harvey, no problem. But that's because Harvey hit Sea Drift and Port Lavaca and kind of did a little loop around Port O'Connor. Anyway, so we have the Texas Fair plan for insurance, and that's it. But if you have a house down there, our friends were paying $1,200 a month for their insurance on their house. They had one of those big, beautiful homes that are up on stilts, you know, above, way up, first level is way up off the ground. $1,200 a month. Woo! I can't do that. That hurts. Okay. Okay. And this goes here. Perfect. There's the layout. Isn't that beautiful? Looks nice. Okie dokie. Let's get to all right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this one to this one. Okay. This row, this column to this column, and this column to this column. So that's what's up next. Again, make sure they match up exactly. And I like to take a pin and put it in the bottom so that the bottom fabric does not get pulled through faster than the top. And I want this to be even. Okay, so I get a good 1/4 inch seam. I'm not bothering to back stitch because the ends will be captured inside of a seam allowance. Thank you. I love the colors too. This is Strawberry Lemonade. Such a fun, happy line. I love it. By Sherry and Chelsea from Moda. Let's see here. So, Tina, my friend Betty Boop, she's doing Esther the Easter chicken. And she got it all drawn out. She didn't, she got it all drawn out. She just scanned in the photo of the chicken, the picture, into Brilliance. Just brought in the image and then started drawing. And you just have to make sure that your pieces are like 1/4 of an inch bigger or something. Or not 1/4 of an inch. You've got a little bit of seam allowance underneath, so you can tuck, not seam allowance, a little bit of allowance underneath so that you can tuck like the hay under the body and all that. I'm not going to be doing Esther the Easter chicken. I never said I was going to do that. I showed y'all the pattern. It's a week and I just don't have the time. It's a week before Easter. I've had that pattern now for 8 or 9 years. That is a very advanced pattern for snapplique because of all of the little pieces. So I got a little bit of white sticking out. Not allowed. There we go. I'd still love to do it. I really do. I would love to do it. I was doing getting the designs ready to go on the cruise, the Sew and Sail cruise. And I remember why I stopped editing videos. Well, I always have, I mean, my arm and my fingers go numb. Too much mousing. This is why I'm a live streamer now instead of doing pre-recorded videos. All right. So now I'm going to be putting these back in the order that they came in. I think. I'm going to try. Yes. You've been fighting with Esther for a while? Yeah, Sandy. I mean, that is a tough, tough pattern to snapplique. I didn't realize when I bought it how difficult it was. Had I realized it, I don't know that I would have purchased it. Okay. Yeah, so what Lisa did was on that, because her nest is paper pieced. So she just created a snapplique for it. All right, so now I'm ready to just sew this to this like that, okay? Again, I'm doing it different than the book. The book has you sew some 4 patches, and that didn't work out for me. This is just a different method. As long as it all comes out to the right size, you're fine. Don't worry about it. I had to refill a bunch of bobbins during the break between the situation room and this video. I was completely out. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my word. I had to sit there for 15 minutes. Swapped out the laundry because it was going while we were in the situation room. So I got that. Load number 2 is in the wash and number 1's in the dryer. And got hash browns started. I told Keith, you're going to have to finish up the rest. Oh, I want to tell y'all a trick. So on Weight Watchers, you guys that are on the weight loss wagon, On Weight Watchers, you can have a baked potato is 0 points on the plan that I'm on. So I'm thinking a potato is a potato is a potato, right? So what I do, I get that spray oil, not canola, I use olive oil. And I'll go ahead and spray the pan with that, throw regular potato, chopped potatoes in there and spray them up with that. It's like Pam, but it's not. I use olive oil spray. It's 0 calories on the olive oil spray. So essentially you're getting fried stuff. Also, you can do that in an air fryer. Don't be dumping, you don't want to be dumping tablespoons of oil in your pan. That's where the calories come in and the fat. Just use spray. You don't need all of that. And oh my gosh, y'all, it has been great. Where you can have potatoes and hash browns. Okay. This is looking good. Yeah. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press these. Does the PQ 1600 wind bobbins? Yes, it does. It has a bobbin winder on top. It can do a bobbin in about 22 seconds flat. It's crazy. Alrighty. So now I'm going to, odd rows are going to be pressed one direction. Even rows, press the other. I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to do these this way. And I'm pressing from the back. Don't tug, just kind of flatten. Also notice I'm not swishing, I'm smooshing. Swishing, especially on these, uh-oh, what is that? Oh, look what happened here. Look at that. How did that happen? Whoa. I cooked the baked potatoes. I cooked my baked potatoes in the microwave. You can also put baked potatoes in an Instant Pot and cook them like that in a basket. I don't know what. Now, let me show you the problem. When you've got this, I don't have a 1/4 inch seam allowance. It's scant. That's no good. Yeah. I do use pre-wound bobbins, Hope, in my Luminaire. Not in this one. This one, nah, I make my own. Takes a different size. It takes the L size bobbins. What happened with that? Good grief. Don't fall. Go everywhere. Yeah, the 1600 does not come with a walking foot. The 1500 does. I don't know why they took that out. That's crazy. Okay. I had this pinned in everything. I don't know what was going on with that. Crazy. All right. Let me get this straight on. What? Whoops. When you see something like that, stop, fix it. It will not get better. You can't. That's bad. It makes your block wonky. You don't want that. Oh. Okay. Now look at my seam allowance. On there, that end, and this one. Okay. There. Woo! That was like, what on earth? Okay. You got to catch those things. Thank you. She said, nice job. I appreciate that. Okay. There. Is that right? I don't know. I don't think so. I had it flipped around when I pressed it. I'm going to go this way. Just need to make sure this is 12 and a half. I don't need it any bigger than that. Perfect. Okay. This needs pressed this way. Getting these together, yes, the 1600 and the multi-needle take the same size L bobbins. They sure do. And they're vertical. Now, the thing I liked, I used to have a Janome MB7, and that had a bobbin winder on it. That was really nice. The Brother 10 needle does not. It doesn't have one. A bobbin winder. So, but that's okay. I have a bobbin winder that came with my long arm. And so I use that. Now, if you've got this, you can use the bobbin winder on this for the multi-needle too. Okay. Y'all, I got a song in my head, that new Blake Shelton song. She's probably somewhere in Texas. She's probably in Texas. I woke up with it. It's been there. Woo. Okay. And then this one. This is to my right. Yep. Drive me crazy. Yeah, the lighting on the luminaire is nice, right? You're still working on cup of cheer? Come on, girl. Get with that. What are you doing? You're welcome, Quilt Wench. She says, great. Now it's in my head. Nah, 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 nah. She's probably in Texas. Too funny. All right. Looking good. All right, now it's time to get the rows together. So I pressed the seam allowances on the odd rows to my left and the seam allowances on the even rows to my right, and that is so that they will nest nicely. So when I start doing my nesting, okay, I start in the middle, got my little pins here, and I'm going to peek. You guys can't see what I'm doing. Where's the button? Okay. So I like to take these and I'm peeking to put this point of the white and marry it up with this point of the color right here. Okay. And you can take a peek and get those right on top of each other and shove those seam allowances up with each other, just like that. And I pin on at a 45-degree angle in one side of the seam allowance and out the other. And that locks that stitch so that as I travel down, I can get 1 or 2 stitches over the seam allowance, the horizontal seam right here, and then I can pull the pin. This one doesn't have a match, which is handy, so I just need to shove those up against each other. In one side of the seam allowance, out the other. On a 45, don't do it straight, do it on a 45. And then this one too. Match those little points together and then butt those seam allowances right up against one another. Now, what you are aiming for, I do it better eyeballing, but it's completely up to you. What you are aiming for. Let's get in here. Okay. Probably should have done this before I put a pin in it. There is a seam that goes right here, this horizontal seam. Okay. And there is a seam that goes right here. It's making kind of a pointy X. Okay. So you can see that. You are aiming with your needle. I need to repin this because I've got a little gap there I'm not happy with. You are aiming to hit right on that X. That's what you want to hit right there. That's going to prevent you from tipping your points and being too far away. Okay. Let me do this again. I have a feeling that's going to be off, because my 1/4 inch seam allowances are pretty spot on. But you do need to take a peek at these, y'all. Now, and if you mess up, you don't have to unpick the whole block, the whole row. You just do that part. This is the magic to nesting. Nesting's a thing. You get that wrong. Ooh. Okay. So here we go. Let me do this. Okay, I'm going to stitch 1 or 2 stitches right over that X. I'm going to make sure my needle hits the point of the X. One more. Okay, now I can pull the pin. And I made sure then that the little points were locked before I pulled the pin. It might help to make a mark if you've got seams that are kind of bunched right there, or maybe it left a little knot off the back or something. Okay, let's take a look. All right. So there's that. We're going to look and we're going to peek. Okay. Perfect nest right there. Look at that. All 3 of them. Perfect. Right there. And this one, I'll take it all day long. Okay. That's how you do that. Hey, Dee Dee, I got your email. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the cruise. Gonna be fun. If you weren't there this morning, I would bring your, if you have I mentioned it this morning, you might want to bring you don't need a machine, no scan and cut, none of that, but a quilter's cut and press or something to do lap work on. So, because you're going to be pulling that hoop quite a bit doing applique. And bring a laptop so you can get some snap-applique time in. Yeah, that worked nice. Pretty, pretty. Love this. Nice points. Yep. Oh, good. You got my email. Okay, good. All right. I don't know if I like that. Do I need to fold this the other direction? I do. Now, I want to show you guys. Let's get up close and take a peek at this. All right. Let's look at this. Let me get in. So right here, when I fold this and ironed it with the seam allowance going one way, I don't know if you can see how it kind of stumps that point right there on that green check? But if I push it the other way, if I push that seam allowance the other way, it's absolutely perfect. So look at that. Okay. So you could do that. Just do that. Okay. Don't be married to one direction or the other. You don't have to be. Okay. And there's nothing that says you can't make your seam allowances go different directions on the same row. Okay. Nothing that says that either. And I'll show you how and where to do that. You can also trim them, but it's completely up to you. You just want it all to look, you know, lay flat. You can press them open if you want. I don't want. I'm going to end up pressing these the other direction. Okay. Path of least resistance. That's absolutely right, just like electricity. So if you want to, you can switch directions on the press halfway through. So right here, that if that presses up, y'all, you're not going to see that when it's quilted. That is absolutely perfect and beautiful. That looks amazing. It's perfect and beautiful. Looks amazing. Okay. So now let's do it again. We got 2 more to go and then we'll be finished. So again, I start in the center. I'm going to match those little points. Make sure they meet up. And pin at a 45 in one side of the seam allowance and out the other. It should look like that on the back. I'm only pinning in the seam allowance, and it looks like that on the front. Only pin in the seam allowance. Don't pin anywhere else. You need to lock those seam allowances together so that they don't shift around during the stitching process. Okay. That also helped from things getting tucked up underneath, you know, caught and flipped around the other way as you go over the, when you stitching it. I hate that. Okay. Get one stitch over, then pull the pin. Aim for the X. I can't see the X. Where is it? Can't see it. Oh, wow, it's way up here. Is that right? Why does that look wrong? Oh, same issue as the first one. That white shifted. Okay. I hope that comes out. Now, see, now look what happened. Now I've got red hanging out the outside of that. I don't like that. What happened was the white here got away from me when I was stitching. See how that white's hanging up over the top of the pink? That caused a bad 1/4 inch seam allowance on my, it's at an 1/8. See, it's at an 1/8. That's not going to work. When you're doing these kinds of blocks, y'all, this matters. It really matters that you get that right, okay? I'm just going to, it was just at that one little bit. It's just amazing that that little tiny bit will make such a difference in the seam allowance. So I just unpick those few threads, okay? All right, now I can see where that, Man, it wanted to do it again. I hope it's okay. Let me put those little points together. Okay. I'm thinking that might be a problem. But you have to really pay attention to these. Okay. So now I'm just going to keep sewing from where I was. Get that X. Oh, that's perfect. That one turned out great. That'll work. I'm glad I fixed it. Perfecto. Okay, this is good. Awesome sauce. This looks amazing. Which way are these going? This way. Okay, good. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad I fixed that. That turned out just perfect. All right. And now this last seam. Okay. Start in the center. It gives you a balanced, starts you on a good path for a balanced row. Okay. Now this one, I can't see the X because it's a straight seam the way it's ironed, right? So what you can do is you can take your pin and come in at the X, at the point right there, okay, from the front, put your pin through, and then make a little mark where that pin came out. Right there. That's where the point is. And I got the same thing going on over here. You can push them the other way if you want. I don't. I want it to lay, you know, pretty flat. So, okay. And then all you have to do, again, is take a peek and measure up your points. And then pin on the diagonal in one side of the seam allowance, out the other. But now I have a mark. I've got a target of where I'm going to land. Okay. Don't sew blind. Okay, there we go. And get these guys together. So everybody's happy, doing their happy dance. This block, well, you will not be doing a happy dance until you master figuring out these points. I think this is the hardest block in the whole pattern. And this is the last one. This is the last seam on this last hard block. I'll be glad to see it in my rearview mirror. All right, lay those flat and hit that mark. Perfect. Okay. And here. Did I break it? No. I bent my pen. Oh, goodness. I thought that was going to break. It didn't. In the TikTok, another use for the TikTok. Tic-tac, tic-tac box. Is my needle bent? It is not. All right. Will it work? Okay. Ah, right near the end, y'all. That scared me. Okay, let's see how we did. Perfect, perfect, perfect for the most part. Let's see. I'll take it. All day long, I'll take it. Looks great. Okay. So let's get these pressed. I love this little Liso iron. So good. All righty. Sweet. I only had to restitch a couple of parts where we had some shifting going on in the fabric. And that usually happens when I don't put a pin at the beginning, just like I do at the end. Okay. Awesome. All done, all done. All right. Too fun. I love it. Okay. So here we go. Here's our happy dance block. And that turned out just gorgeous. I love it. Look at my pretty points. Ooh, ah, oh. Yay. So this goes, where's my papers? This is row 5, column 2. So this goes right here. Lovely. Just lovely. I love it. Very, very pretty. 2 more blocks, you guys. 2 more weeks. And then we'll be back a 3rd week and we will finish up the, we'll do the sashing. I'll get all done, but like 1 row of it. I'll show you how to make the sashing with the cornerstones and then how to get all that sewn together. And then it has borders. So we won't be done for about another month, but we're going to get done. Okay. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a lot of fun. I hope if you are a new quilter, I was able to give you some tips and techniques that can help you improve your quilting. I'm no expert by any means, but well, Melba, she says, I missed it. When did you change irons? I changed irons when the Cricut iron kept dying. It just kept dying. And I ran into the folks from Oliso at Road to California, and they said, will you use our irons? And I said, well, let me try them out. And if I like them, I'll continue on and promote them. I absolutely love them. Keith took my first one. I had to get another. I had to buy another iron. But I do love it. So the change of ironing directions. Yeah, Linda, don't be married to one way. Get to where there's some colors that are overlapping that you can't see from the front. I wouldn't do it in a white where the white would show through. But when you've got colors, you know, and you can't see it from the front, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. All right. All right, you guys, we will see you next week and be back here for block 19. My pool people are here. And I hope to see you in the morning, 7 a.m. Central for the Situation Room. Now, tomorrow, I've got another second live, and I will be doing Sewing Machines Plus's Takeover Tuesday. Joanne Banco swapped out with me. She normally has the end of the month, but I'm going to be in Indiana teaching. All right, you guys, we will talk to you soon. Give a thumbs up, subscribe so we can spend more time together, and you guys go sew something. Bye.